Welcome to the morning show. Nope. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Murray.
You can always listen to the morning show podcast. That is available wherever you get your podcasts. So thank you very much for checking that out. And we are going to have a good day today. I know, tensions are high. It always happens on election day. Whether you're on the winning side or the losing side, election day is always a day where everyone's screaming about the end of the world, basically. So just remember, things might change, but things could also stay the same, and you still got your people around you. So.
I mean, the end of the world is upon us, but you know what? We should try to make it a better place while it's coming.
I feel like throughout history, the end of the world was upon us many, many times.
No, it's actually there now, though.
Okay, are we going to have a good day or not?
I mean,
what are you doing here?
Climate change is real. Vote the right way.
Well, yeah. Lisa, thank you very much for those 5 gifted Tier 1 subs. Robbie and Everett, thank you for 5 gifted Tier 1 subs as well. Do we have shots today, Carla Marie?
We do.
For anyone who's new to the show, every time we get through level 5 of the former hype train, now it's called the boost train.
So bizarre.
Every time we get through level 5 of that, we do a little shot.
Someone said, I can't read it, it's too tiny, asked if you took a gummy today, Tones, because you need one.
Why do I need a gummy?
Because you keep saying the wrong show.
Yeah, you know what? I got thrown off a little bit today because the sound was off, and then Carla Marie came in here with her negative Nancy attitude. Yeah, we're going to have a good day. Is it?
I never said that.
Maybe because they didn't hear it before.
But the reason I brought that up is because it automatically triggered the 15% off Seattle Gummy Go
Did it?
stream elements when they asked that, so it was great.
Oh, sweet.
But we were talking about voting when there was no sound, and Anthony was asking Ricky about, can you do mail-in voting in Tennessee? And I was saying I have been talking to Ricky about this because they did some redistricting in Tennessee, and the wrong ballots and the wrong things were sent to the wrong districts. And if you voted already, you have to go in person today, I believe, to be like, hey, I voted already. You need to switch my district. And if you don't know that, you don't do that. And they're basically saying there's no other way to do that. And then today there was all this thing like, go get all your information on our voter website. And it just says error found when you go to the website. Yeah. So there's a lot of like.
Well, a lot of those government websites are also they're not great websites. So I imagine that if there's too much traffic, they just crash.
Well, which
stinks.
I trust no one.
We are 10% of the way to the boost train.
Cool.
So we are 10% of the way to taking a shot here on the show.
Oh.
What's up, Carla Marie?
Also, do we have a Powerball winner?
So there is a Powerball winner.
A whole 1.9 billion.
A whole 1.9 billion. I don't know. So here's what happened. Do you want to go grab our tickets? They're downstairs on the wine rack.
It was a 23-minute run for endurance today.
So what?
I ran 2.5 miles this morning.
Okay.
My legs are sore.
You sit most of the day. I think you'll be okay.
And I got cramps.
So what happened yesterday, there were 2 things that happened. One, we'll talk about what happened with the actual Powerball jackpot. And they delayed the actual drawing because apparently one state didn't clear their security protocols or something, so they had to move everything back. By the time I went to bed around midnight here on the West Coast, I wasn't able to get the numbers because the website was still refreshing or updating. Let's see. Jen said the jackpot was actually $2.04 billion. That was the final amount. That's pretty incredible. Let's see. Angela said, I won on the double play. I think I only won $10. Hey, $10 is better than nothing.
That could be the last time I walked up the steps as a poor person.
It could be.
Wait, did you tell the story?
No, so I was going to wait till you got here. But with our tickets, something else happened as we were going to get them from the little liquor store nearby. So
we go in and we're like, $20, Powerball, whatever. And she immediately just goes and hands us the ticket. And Anthony's like, that was so fast. You just did that now?
Did you just print that?
And she's like, oh no, I had it here because someone else wanted 20 and then they realized they needed cash, so they left. And we both went, can you? She's like, I can print you a new one. And we're like, yeah. I was like, no, but we're taking that one too.
So we ended up doubling up. We were going to spend $20. We ended up spending $40.
But
I get
never move your chips.
Exactly. And that's where we kind of were like hedging our bets because we didn't want to poo-poo this ticket that was handed to us because you never know if that's going to be the winning number.
Universe handed us the winner, maybe.
But then we also didn't get our own specific ticket printed for us, so we just did both. So here, give me that one, Carla Marie.
Well, wait, but here's the problem. We said we wouldn't tell anyone if we won.
Well, too late for that. Let me put this on the screen.
Are there any $1 million winners?
So this website, the website that I used to go to, used to tell me like everything and tell you the state that the person won in. It's not
10,
doing that right now.
41, 47. I know this is riveting, but this is important. No, they got to make this font different on these tickets. All right, wait.
Let's search the Powerball. Oh, now
Go to lotteryusa.com.
lotteryusa.com.
That's the one I found yesterday.
Why can't I type? There we go.
That was cool.
Okay, so let me put this on the screen real quick so everyone can see what we're doing.
You always take the mistake ticket. Because what if that was the one? Wait.
What?
It's at 2. Oh, that
It went up. You were downstairs.
It went up while I was downstairs.
No, I meant Jen mentioned it in the chat, so then I read that out.
All right.
Okay.
10,
Now, does it have to be in order?
I think so. I think you still win big if it's
Not gonna lie, I saw a
if it's-
10 and I almost peed a little bit. But doesn't it normally say where the state?
No, stop. This is a new website. 10, 33, 41, 47, 56, 10. All right. Well, I got. Oh, there's a 10 on this one. I got a Powerball as a 10. Kill me. We could have won. Do you get anything for getting a Powerball? There was no 3 the same?
Nothing.
No 3.
No.
God, there's so many numbers.
Yep.
Wait, no, don't take it away. I'm reading.
Okay, here. I'll put it on this screen.
Can I just scan it? No, there's an ad now.
Ah, man, this is annoying. All right, let's move on. We're not winners.
No, what?
We're still
you
poor.
don't know that.
We are poor.
47.
Okay.
And the next.
Let's go. Hurry up here.
Any other ones?
No. That's it.
Tones, you're rushing me. What if I miss it?
If you don't have more than 2 numbers in a row, it's not a winner.
It doesn't have to be in a row.
No, but like in the same row.
I know, but I'm trying. I got to read them every time. My brain doesn't remember numbers like that.
Listen, we are in boost train level 6, Carla Marie. We got more important things to worry
So
about.
did someone
like taking
win?
a shot. There is one winning number out there somewhere.
No, you do. Amanda's right. I think you do win something just for winning the Powerball.
Okay. Well, hopefully we got that. I didn't.
This is not the tick. This is the one we had her print, though.
Okay. So after all that, we are
But what is the app?
big losers. What?
What is the app? Everyone's talking about Scan It. The Washington Lottery app is trash.
Yeah, I don't know. Ask someone else what app they
Every
use.
time I scan it, it tells me it's not a real ticket.
All right. Let's
$4.
Who won $4?
We do for
Julie
the
and my-
Powerball.
Oh, cool. Did we get any of those?
I told you, yes.
Okay, cool. Is the app called Jackpot? And 83 Marie Smith said hers scans on her state's app. So like we have the Washington State Lottery app and it's not great. This is one of the things we worked on back when we were on the radio. We actually had a meeting with people from the Washington State Lottery because they noticed that after Gen Y, that participation in the lottery, essentially, like overall, regardless of scratch-off tickets or Powerball jackpot, just fell off a cliff. People just weren't participating anymore. And one of the reasons was people just didn't know how to play the lottery. It wasn't something that was easy, and people don't like. The one problem with millennials and Gen Zers is we don't like asking questions in public.
We like to Google it.
If we can't find it on our own, we're just dumb for the rest of our lives. So we had pitched this whole plan about like
teaching
people how to do it. They loved it, and then they didn't want to pay for it. So it never happened.
The list is wrong.
Oh yeah, why does that keep happening? It updated before. Let me put it on here. We are, and we're going to talk about this earlier. Should women ask men out?
Later.
What?
We're going to talk
Earlier in the show than we have been.
Are we shotting it?
Yeah, that's on you, homie. Should women ask men out? Okay, we're going to talk about that, and I want to make sure that you guys have the number if you want to call. It is 201-305-0894. Think about it like 089 for lunch.
We, as At some point, we got to talk about my test that I have to do today and tomorrow.
Okay, talk about it.
Right now?
Go for it.
Well, I can't do too many things at once here. Remember, you told me no more multitasking.
I mean, I didn't say that. I said I don't multitask anymore. There we go. Now we have a new list. Yes? There we go. See, the weird thing is, we all know that there was a November 7th list in there yesterday. Why did it go back to November 3rd out of all the days?
Maybe you never saved November 7th.
I don't know. It's weird. 201-305-0894. Keep that number in your phone. And if you want, you can text us right now with your name and where you're from. That way, when you call us, we know it's you. We'll pick up right away, and we'll get through all of that, get to know you nonsense faster.
Salted caramel. Nope. Caramel apple coming up. Just a regular caramel apple. Or, yeah. But our ice was a little chopped up, so you might get some pieces.
Let's see. I want to see. Deborah, I was multitasking. What? So, as Carlin Ray does that, all I will say is, I don't know if I believe in multitasking. Not important things, at least. I believe, you can, listen to a podcast and fold your laundry. I believe you can be on a call and walk your dog, right? But I don't think you can do two important tasks.
You can't write a paper and do crunches?
No, I don't. Maybe you can. You can switch between the two very often. It's just not great for your brain. Do the thing you're supposed to do, and then move on.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
I can read and talk. I can say different things that I'm saying and read different things and comprehend what I'm reading.
That's pretty good.
Can you?
No, not really.
Oh, cool.
It's one of the reasons I don't listen to podcasts when I work out. If I'm doing weight workouts, because I don't like counting and listening to someone at the same time.
That's fair.
Cheers, Carla Marie. Cheers to everyone who supported the stream this morning. And if you voted, you get an extra little love for the shot today. Let's see. Martha said, I agree. You can't fully focus on two things at once. At least I can. And most people can't. And the people who claim they can or who are very good at multitasking, the research has basically shown they're not necessarily doing two things at the same time. They're just good at pivoting their brain from one task to another very quickly. And I also said, we talked about this almost a year ago, because I think we were doing the podcast from New Jersey, or doing the show from New Jersey. And one of the things that I think society has allowed us to do is pin multitasking on women, right? There's always been this narrative oh, women can do more things at once and men can't, which even if it's true, you as women should come together and kill that narrative. Because all it does is it makes it okay to ask women to do more things at once than it is to ask men. Because it's almost expected culturally. And part of that is because women throughout history have often raised children while doing things at home. And you're doing a lot at the same time, while men went off and
you're chatting on the phone with your gal pals while cooking dinner and feeding your baby with the bottle.
Yeah. But while men were able to go off, whether it was go off to war, whether it was go off to work, whether it was go off to the fields, they were able to go off and do one thing. And I think that's where that narrative started. In today's world, I think it's a deterrent, or not a deterrent. It's a negative title to put on a woman more than it is a positive.
Fred the mailman said, I listened to the show while delivering mail. Everybody gets the wrong mail for about an hour. I would like a job where my hands are tied up, but where I have to physically, that's all I do. I can listen to something maybe, but I don't have to email.
Like going down to the old Coca-Cola factory and twisting the tops on the bottles.
I'll be a coal miner or
I don't think you want to do that.
A construction worker. Something. And then I'd be so fit.
So you want to work with your hands. So you want manual labor then? Do you want a busy task? Do you want to be Lucy in the
I would love that.
The candy
I was that.
The candy conveyor belt company?
I essentially did that at a warehouse when I was 13 years old. This had to be illegal. But I've talked about this before. One of my first jobs, my brother was a warehouse manager, and they needed someone to take a pair of jeans out of a plastic bag that it came in, put a belt that was supposed to be a part of the jeans around in the belt loop and put the jeans back in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that required me to fold.
Yeah.
And then I was putting them back in the boxes, and because it was like coming out of this vacuum sealed bag, they weren't fitting, so they had to do more boxes. But I did that all day, and I don't think I loved that at 13. But now, I dream of doing something like that.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's good to do something like that in the course of your day to kind of like get your mind off of the million places it can go. Because when you have to complete a task with your hands, oftentimes you're more focused on that, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's sewing, folding, you're focused on that. And there are a lot of people in the chat saying they listen to the show or have to listen to something while they work.
Yeah.
If you're,
You could whistle.
typing in Excel sheets or whatever, are you actually paying attention to what you're listening to?
I forget who said it, how sometimes they have to rewind 30
Yeah.
seconds. I think it may have been Megan. They have to rewind 30 seconds when they're listening to a podcast. I have to do that too. I'll watch a TV show on our Google Home in the kitchen, and I'll be cooking, and then I'll be like looking at the recipe, and I'm like, wait, how did this person
Yeah.
get murdered? And I have to go back. But Megan did say, because she works for Pepsi, she said working at Pepsi is great because it keeps you in shape, and there's little to no emailing. And her arms are ripped.
And then there was something else. Oh, where was it? Mr. Miami Cool said he is, and I assume that's typing things into Excel and listening to us at the same time. Because I know
I can't
even
type
when
things in Excel.
when I'm listening to a podcast or an audiobook, even when I'm driving, there are sometimes where my mind wanders, and
Yeah.
I'll go back and I'll rewind a minute.
I can do that'll happen to me sometimes while reading a physical book.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Like when you had to read when you were a kid, you'd have to read the same
Oh my
paragraph 50 times and be like, what am I reading?
I'm not gonna lie, that's me as an adult. That's why it takes me so long to read. It's because I'll read a whole page. I'll read a whole page, and literally I'll get to the end of the page and go, what did I just read? What was I just thinking about? And then I'll go back and read that
Yeah.
entire page again.
Man. Renee said, I misheard something you guys said yesterday. I like that I can participate in the chat when I watch you live, but I don't like that I can't rewind you.
Yeah.
Well, what was it?
Everyone watching on YouTube right now can easily pause, rewind, fast forward.
Heather on Long Island, I love this. I need to read with a ruler. So you take the ruler and you
Yeah.
underline the line you're using, or I won't remember a thing. I do that where I'm reading and I'm like, but what does this say down here? And I start like reading both sentences at once.
Really?
It's so bad.
How do you even focus on both sentences?
Well, you don't.
Are you
So
like
that's when you
cross-eyed?
go back. Except for right now. Like I could be talking about this and then also know that W. Plants just said I do the same thing while reading.
Yeah. I do use sometimes, instead of a ruler, I'll have like the bookmark and I'll try to use that.
If
In
it's
its
getting good
place.
in the book, so I don't cheat because I'm so bad at like seeing what's ahead. I'm like, don't read it, you jerk.
All right. So I want to go back. We talked about the Powerball jackpot. I put the World Cup on here. Interesting. I don't know why I did that.
To talk about
I mean, the World Cup is starting this month.
how they're lying.
Well, there was an article about, we'll talk about this quickly and move on. There was an article about how greenwashing, which is essentially using shady, environmentally conscious terms
When it's not.
to make your business or event
So
sound more sustainable. So like the Yankees, for example, they actually hired essentially like a
Sustainability person.
like a sustainability director. They're the first sports team to do that. And that person has been used now he's consulted with a bunch of other different teams in different cities
Yeah.
for their venues. And I guess the World Cup board, whatever committee got the World Cup to Qatar, if you're Middle Eastern.
Qatar. Qatar?
Qatar is how you would say
I say it.
Qatar?
Can you spell it phonetically? There's a D in there when you're saying it to me.
No, it'd just be like CUTR, Qatar.
There's a D in there.
There's no D. Anyway, whatever. There's a T in pizza. Go to hell. Pizza? You don't say pizza?
No, I'm not saying. I'm asking. I'm not saying you're doing it wrong.
So I guess they called this guy who works for the Yankees. He's the Yankees sustainability director. And they said, well, we want to announce tomorrow that we're going to be plastic neutral. And he was like, well, that's impossible. Are you guys not using any plastic containers or anything? They said, no, we're using plastic, but we're going to pay for like an ocean cleanup somewhere. We're going to make a donation. So we want to say that we're plastic neutral.
Not how that works.
And he was like, guys, please, whatever you do, don't announce that you are going to be plastic neutral. And I guess they did make the announcement. It's not on their website anymore. But it's just the whole idea that anyone now could be like, oh, yeah, we're sustainable.
Yeah, so are we.
And oftentimes, I mean, I don't know if this is sustainable for the long term, but
we're not creating a lot of trash every morning. I guess maybe bottles.
And then the other thing I said, that I guess they wanted to say they were carbon neutral as well. And then I was like, well, show me that you guys are carbon neutral. And he was like, no. And the board of directors or whoever for the World Cup in Qatar, we're basically saying, again, no, we're going to make a donation.
That's not how this works.
To offset all of the carbon emissions that we put out there. And he's like, guys, that's not what sustainability is.
I hope I'm supposed to be doing a project possibly with Lumen Field to show all the things that they do as a stadium, because they're one of the first stadiums in the country to truly compost the way they compost and do all this stuff. And I hope I get to do it because it's really cool. Climate Pledge Arena is another one. Like, are they net zero?
I don't believe so. I don't know. I mean, from what I've read, it's essentially impossible for an entire arena to be carbon neutral.
Yeah, I guess.
Or plastic neutral, if that's what the World Cup officials want to call what they're doing. But the idea that you can build 7 new stadiums in 2 years and be carbon neutral
seems impossible.
I think anyone who looks at the facts and goes, oh, they built all of these stadiums in the desert, like they're not carbon neutral. I mean, all of those stadiums are closed and have air conditioning. It is impossible for them to be carbon neutral. What, Carla Marie?
There's a lot of the chat talking about how you said there's a D or T in pizza.
Yeah.
So
say the word pizza.
Pizza.
There's a T in there at the end. Pizza.
No, it's pizza.
No, you just said pizza. Like
technically, that's what it is, though. But Fred the Mailman said, if you eat too much pizza, you'll need some Pepto-Bismol.
Oh, my brother actually messaged.
So wait, Lisa, your last name is pronounced Pizzaniello. For some reason, I struggle. I can say almost every Italian last name except for yours.
So here was an interesting conversation.
Oh, wait. There's an I. So we just skipped the I? Pisanello? What? You're missing the I in your own name.
I mean, so is pizza. Pizza. You don't actually pronounce the I in pizza. It's like a long double E.
It's an E-L-O.
Okay. Let me find this. There was a word.
Okay, well, you're looking for that.
Oh, this word.
Okay. Jill said, I know this is irrelevant, but I found the word Tones uses a lot. Pivot.
Yeah, I do. Can you grab me a piece of paper for a second?
Big Friends guy.
Pivot.
You're not. You don't even know what that's about.
It's when they're moving the couch around the corner. Please. You know how much furniture I've moved in my life? A lot.
Like David Rose.
Okay, so I want you to say this word.
Pisanello. Got it. Oh, other family members drop.
Say that word.
Well, it depends.
Not like a gift.
Present.
Okay.
Are you showing the people the word?
You just said it.
But what if they say it differently?
They know the word. Hold on. Okay, now say this word again, the top word.
Present.
Say it again.
Present.
Say it again.
Present.
Now say this word.
Presentation.
Okay, so this is what me and my brothers were discussing. Do you say presentation or presentation?
I think I say both, honestly.
I say presentation. But
why
why does the
you're going to finish your book report and then you got to do a presentation in front of everyone. What did I just say?
You said presentation.
Well, what did I say before?
So you said presentation.
Yeah, it's presentation.
So here's the thing. Why does adding the shun at the end of present make us take this S and change it to a Z? That's what we all do.
Okay, because the English language doesn't make sense. So presentation. That's like, so I say caramel and caramel. I don't know.
I just say caramel.
So I said caramel, and my friend Hannah was like, yeah, but we don't call you Carla Marie. And I was like, yeah, jerk, you're right. However, it's not. So we're arguing.
But this is the interesting thing. So my cousin, Michelle, is in the chat, and she said she uses presentation, not presentation.
But it's president, not president.
Yeah. I don't know. None of it makes sense.
Because you got to find those guys that you follow on TikTok that talk about the English language.
Yeah, oddly enough, the only one of those people that I follow on TikTok does it for the French language. I don't speak French, but I think the guy's really funny.
Okay,
so
that's weird.
It's pretty good.
I got to go put on my cramp machine.
Okay, go for it.
I think I can make it.
But now I do want to move to should women ask out men? We got through election day. We talked about that a little bit. Basically, our friend Lindsay, actually, and I know she watches this oftentimes on delay, so she's going to hear her name and be like, what's that? What happened? Last week or possibly the week before, she posted that she was having a discussion with some of her friends. And I guess the pair of friends were a couple. And they were talking about whether or not women should be asking more men out on dates. And it's interesting because out of all of the things that we've grown to do recently, right? Like we're trying to get women paid the same. We're trying to get women equal access to everything. In that same vein, I guess women should be asking men out on dates at the same pace or close to the same rate that men ask women. But I also don't know how I would react. Because when I was on like the apps and within a day or something, a girl would be like, let's meet up for coffee tomorrow. Like, whoa. Slow your roll.
Okay, but I women feel the same way about men that do that.
So maybe that was an app. Maybe that was an app thing. And I don't know if I've ever been officially like asked out on a date with a woman before like I actually knew her well or like dated her in general.
Then are we talking about date or first move? Because I win this one.
I guess date. Like being asked out.
I didn't ask you on a date, but I was like, hey, I like you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've always made the first move in every relationship I've ever been in. But
really?
Date-wise,
yeah,
I don't know.
So
because I feel like
you say so by saying that, you're saying you let your feelings known first.
Yeah.
You won't ask
I
them
guess.
out. Let's see if this works. Hold 1 second. Lenny from Queens, good morning.
Hello?
Hello. Lenny,
Hello?
can you hear us?
I can't hear anything.
Ah, damn
We
it.
can hear him though. That's weird. What's happening? You got to do
Hello?
something on our end?
Lenny. It should be working.
Yes, we can hear Lenny. Can you guys hear Lenny?
Well, I just muted him on the chat, so.
Wait.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
he's watching Twitch and he heard the ringer come through. So now he's going to know that.
All right, I'm going to hang. Lenny, if you can hear this later, I'm going to hang up on you first and check our settings. Should all be working. Yeah.
Radio Fam said, I made a cute handmade invite to ask a guy to a concert with me.
Was that the first time that you guys hung out? Also, if anyone else wants to call to see if maybe it was Lenny's issue on his end or if it was us, the number is 201-305-0894.
It has nothing to do with how our audio was messed up earlier. Scroll down. What's these things?
Our audio wasn't messed up. We were just muted.
Martha said, I wear my heart on my sleeve, so my emotions are always known first.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, who's this? Who?
Brett in Florida.
Oh, Brett in Florida?
In Tampa, right?
All right, so Brett, if you were being asked out by a woman,
Hold on, pause. Sorry, Brett, they can't hear him. Okay, we've got Brett from Tampa on the phone. Brett, Anthony asked him the question.
If you had just met a woman, maybe you're at a bar, maybe it's a mutual friend, and she asked you out on a date, how would you feel about that?
How would I feel about it?
Yes.
Well, it actually happened. It actually happened to me because I actually had my wife ask me out when we first started dating, and I kind of did it as an experiment because I've always heard, and I hate the stereotype, but I've always heard or seen women always get mad or upset when they talk about, oh, I really like this guy. I don't know why he's not asking me out. I'm giving all these hints. Well, why don't you just ask him out? So I did a role reversal, and I kind of started doing hints towards my wife because I showed interest towards her. We were friends of a friend, and I just kind of started dropping simple hints. And then after a while, not just because she got bored or something, but she just asked me out finally.
So, Brett, what were the hints that you were dropping for your wife? How were you like putting out the vibe to get her to ask you out?
Well, not like anything depressing, like, oh my God, I'm so lonely, or I can't find a girlfriend, nothing like that.
Okay.
It was more like, oh, hey, I want to go to all these shows, but nobody wants to go to these concerts because nobody likes what I'm into. But I knew she was into them. Or I would say, like, hey, I heard about this new restaurant. Nobody wants to go, but I knew she also liked the same thing. Because, again, I knew her through a friend of a friend, so I knew we had similar interests.
Yeah.
You were being such a woman in this situation.
I know. Hold on, let me check in. Let me see if I have vagina. No, I'm good.
So, how long did it take her then after dropping these hints? Oh, I don't have anyone to go to this concert with, this new restaurant. How long from you dropping those hints to her asking you out?
Probably about a month. We knew each other for probably like 6-7 months through friends, but by the time we both became single at the same time, it was about a month before she started doing it, and while I started dropping hints.
All right, that's actually not too long, really, in the courting the courting world. And how did she ask you out?
Just basically simple. Hey, straight up, it's like, hey, like you mentioned that restaurant, you want to go? Like, hey, I'll treat. I'm like, well, I'll gladly accept, but how about I pay? You know, that's when I said I'll pay because I also said that I've been wanting to ask you out. I'm glad you asked first because I've been so nervous. So I wanted to make her feel good about it, but also show that I was interested too.
That's awesome. And then you got married.
Yeah, and how long ago was that?
We've been married 4 years. We got 2 kids, and we've been together 8 years.
Damn.
That's awesome. Brett, where are you headed to right now, or are you just standing outside?
I am heading home because I work third shift.
Jeez. Are you still doing robot stuff?
Down in Florida, no, but my people still are up in Jersey. I think your sister, your niece's Sweet 16 was the last one I did.
That's too funny. Tell everyone how, and because we got a lot of people in Jersey, how they can find your company.
You can look out for Bacardi Arty along the Jersey Shore. You can reach out to Quasar Robots, Lights and Effects. We also do dinosaur shows, so if you want a real-life dinosaur showing up to your kid's party or some weird bachelor party, go for it. If not, you can check us out online, Facebook. You can find us all.
Some weird bachelor party. Well, Brett, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you. You look great.
Thanks, Ed. You look great.
Okay, so the phone line is working for the record. 201-305-0894.
He's the best. He started a company in New Jersey, moved to Florida, and then was still flying back to Jersey for a bit doing it. And I didn't even realize my sister booked him for my niece's Sweet 16, and he was there, and he knew it was me, and he was like, oh, my God.
Good morning, Lenny.
Good morning.
Oh, it's working.
I can
Perfect.
hear you now. That was my fault earlier.
Oh, way to go, Lenny.
Son of a bee.
You know what? I'm just glad it's not always us.
Yeah, I just had too many settings going on, and I clicked something wrong.
So, Lenny.
I pulled an Anthony.
You know what? If messing up all of your settings becomes pulling an Anthony, I'm very happy about that. So, Lenny, how do you feel about women asking out men?
Well, I am a product of a woman asking out a man. I'm actually a product of a woman who asked a man to marry her.
Your wife asked you to marry her?
No.
I'm product of.
Product.
Which means your parents, right?
Yes, my parents. So my parents met at an apprenticeship in Hong Kong, I think in the mid 1950s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, so according to my mom and several other friends, my dad was like this Casanova type guy who's, always flirting with women, but he always had eyes on my mom. But my mom was like, it's her studies studies first. So my dad's like, yeah, my dad knew that. And since they always had to be in such close proximity, he's like, I'm not going to mess anything up. So I'm not going to pursue her. As time went on, they grew closer. And then one day my mom's like, you know what? she's gonna ask my dad out. So she made the first move. So they went out. They went out for a few years, but I guess my dad was supposed to be arranged to be married to
Oh,
somebody that
wow.
my grandmother chose. Yeah. And when my mom found out, she's like, okay, you know what? Let's just remain friends. So he's like, okay, that's cool. Years later, when my dad's mom passed, he decided to end his apprenticeship and head back to the mainland to take care of his dad and brothers. He traveled back to China, but since he was so poor, he went the long way, boat, bus,
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
whatever. And my mom came back to Hong Kong after visiting her mom in Singapore and found out my dad left. And she's like, he left.
And this is
And
back
I
in
guess
the 50s and
Couldn't
60s.
text
Yeah.
them.
right. Yeah. What back in like the 60s. Yeah. I think now it's probably like the mid 60s now.
Okay.
So when she found out, she realized this is the man I want to spend my life with. So her family had a little bit more money. So I think she took the train there. So she got there before he did. And when she got there, she's like, I don't want you to leave. I want you to marry me.
Wow. So
And
this is almost like a rom-com to a certain extent. Like the guy is, arranged to be married to someone else. The girl hops on a train or a
Yeah.
plane or whatever, gets there and makes this proposal. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm so glad she did, because my dad actually showed me the picture of the person he was supposed to marry, and yeah,
That's
Well, also,
hilarious.
if she didn't, you wouldn't be here talking to us.
that's very true.
That's
And
crazy.
and on a more modern stage, on a more modern time, Brooke a few years ago asked the boy to be her boyfriend.
Okay, so I was literally going to ask you then, as a dad of a daughter,
Mhm.
what do you think about this? And I'm guessing you love it.
Yeah, I mean, girl knows what she likes. I mean, the boy is a nice boy. He's
Mhm.
very polite. He's a smart kid. As long as I encourage her to make the right choices
Right.
and not, try to fix somebody.
So
I'm good.
let me ask you this, Lenny. Did Brooke come to you and say, "Hey, Dad, I like this boy. Like, what should I do? I want to ask him out."
No,
Okay.
no, I found out from the boy's mom. So yeah, there's still that going on.
That's amazing. Well, Lenny, thank you so much
That's
for hitting us
amazing.
up. That's an amazing story. Everyone was like glued to their screens listening to that story.
Yeah, they were, because they weren't responding.
Yeah.
And I was like, is everyone alive? And they were like, yeah, we're just listening. So thank you.
Thank you. Have a good. You look great.
You look great. And have a great day.
Yeah, I think that we need to do a Netflix script for that.
I mean, it's a good story. It's a very good story. It would write very well. Let's see, who else do we have here? Chris in Texas. Good morning. Uh-oh.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there was a little delay. So, Chris, where do you land
can you
on?
hear me okay now?
Yes, where do you land on women asking men out on dates? By the way, we've only heard from men so far.
Well, I think it is a very good idea. I think a lot of times, especially from a sociological level, the problems men and women have is because we inhabit different roles. It makes it very hard for us to understand each other because we have no experience of the shoe being on the other foot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like a lot of women's problems come from too much attention from the opposite sex.
Fair.
Whereas men, it's kind of the reverse. And so I think a lot of times women don't appreciate the risk management men use in asking people out because they've never had to take that risk themselves in
Yeah.
a lot of cases.
You make
And
a
so I
great
think
point.
if
Yeah.
women ask more guys out, we would both understand each other a little bit better.
Chris, I'm sure you've been in this situation because I've been in it a handful of times. Even if you're not approaching a woman for any sort, you're not trying to like flirt. You might just be at a bar asking for a question. Every now and then, and I think every guy has dealt with this, you get like the bitchiest, coldest response for just a simple, I remember one time
Yeah,
I
how
asked a
would-
woman I thought she worked there because she was wearing a black shirt, black pants, and she was like by the bartender's like area. And I said, "Hey, can you tell me where the bathroom is?" And she just looked at me and said, "Not interested," like that. I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, I'm sorry. I thought you worked here," and I just kept going. And I feel like if women understood how tough it is to go and actually like put yourself out there,
Or if
they'd
when,
have less bitchy responses.
that's fair.
But
Or if men understood how hard it was to turn a stranger down or
Yeah.
someone they know down, I think we would see a major shift
yeah,
in the way people communicate with one another.
so
But
Chris, you're 100% right. I think
Yeah.
both of us are basically just repeating what you said.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense.
No, and I agree. And I haven't gotten so much the bitchy response from an inadvertent, something that looked like I was trying to flirt. But I'm so paranoid of that. A lot of times, I'm so paranoid about being creepy because I am a larger guy and I know I'm a guy and I'm, not so young anymore. That it really impacts my interactions with women because I want to steer so clear of that.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of things sort of trickier than it otherwise would be.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, it is easy to use so much caution that you miss opportunities that might otherwise have been explored, I guess. And that's in anything, in relationships, in life experiences and work experiences. I think that can always happen.
But also, Chris, I think just being aware, like you said, I'm alert. I'm like, you're tall. I've met you.
Yeah,
you're
how
very
tall are you, Chris? What are you, 6'3"?
6'2", something like that. Yeah.
It's close.
So the fact that you are aware, right, and you're not just like bumbling into this and being like, oh, I'm gonna ask this girl out. Like you understand, hey, I can come off as intimidating. That makes the world of difference. When guys don't understand that, that's when tends to be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, Chris,
But
thank
it's
you.
tricky,
What were you saying?
Yeah. Thanks. I was gonna say thanks for having me on, guys, and you look great.
Of course, you look great.
You look great. So it looks like Des said, so I guess I just need to ask this guy out.
Ooh.
And everyone's like, do it.
Well, call in and we can talk through this. Let's hear about it.
But here's the thing, it's so easy for us to be like, just do it, because we're not doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think.
We did this to Amanda. Remember Amanda O, who was in the chat? We all convinced her to ask this guy out. And then she did. They went on a date or two, and then it ended.
Yeah. And you know what? That's going to happen more often than not. Not every date you go on is going to be the final date. And sometimes I think this is going to sound. Oh. You want me to do it?
Hello, good morning.
Hi, it's Desi.
Hi, Desi.
Desi.
Fix that.
I will.
Sorry.
Okay.
So
the situation at hand. I started working at this PT clinic that I work at in January. He was my coworker. And at the time, I was in a relationship, so obviously I wasn't going to do anything.
Right.
Fast forward to like June, both of us are single, but he leaves the clinic because he goes to PT school. But he broke his foot, so he's back at the clinic doing PT now. So technically he's a patient.
Universe is doing everything to get this guy back to you.
So now he's kind of a patient, if you will.
Yes.
So you okay?
Even though,
No, even though what?
Even though he's a patient, our clinic is very kind of chill, and everybody knows him because he worked there for like 5 years. So.
Okay, well.
It's like borderline to be okay, but also not because he is a patient.
That was my first question is, I know you cannot date a patient at all, but you've known the person before, but still it is murky waters. But listen, we're not here to do that. We're just, we don't know the laws.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Des. How does he live nearby when he's not in clinic? Like, is he only there for school and PT? Or does he live in that area as well?
He lives here now.
Okay.
He lives here now, yeah.
How bad is this foot injury and how long is the recovery?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I'm saying if it's
I don't know how long he'll be in the clinic.
If it's only like a month of rehab or something, then you could probably wait. But I think if you have his info, he's come into your life twice now. You've maintained your interest, right?
Yeah.
Do you hang out as friends ever?
We have once, but it was like a team thing.
Okay.
Oh, like a team bonding. Okay.
Well, I'm with Wardo because in the chat, he said to wait until his last day because also if he does say no, that's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
Well, how often do you see him when he's actually there for PT?
He's there twice a week, and his PT that he always sees, she knows that I like him, and so she always hands me his exercise sheet to take him through everything.
Oh, so you're actually working hand in hand. Yeah, so then you might have to wait and I think if you wait, this is where, taking advice from a guy who has asked out women at some point in his life. What you do if you wait, and yes, I mean, the truth is there might be someone else that comes in and swoops him away in that time. But what you're doing if you wait is you're making sure that he doesn't feel trapped in an answer.
Yes.
And whether even if he wants to go out on a date with you, what if that first date is terrible and now you guys have this awkward energy while he's coming, you're at work, he's trying to get his PT. So I think understanding his timeline there and waiting until the end is probably the best route. But if he's coming back for like a year, maybe you don't want to wait.
He better not. Then your PT clinic needs to change things around if this guy's coming back for a year. But your mom's in the chat, and she said they flirt all the time when he's in the PT office. So I'm assuming your mom knows this whole thing.
Mom. My mom knows everything.
I love that.
So how are you picking up flirting vibes from him? Like what signals is he putting out there?
Well, okay, so I mentioned so I live on campus right now, which means that once Christmas break hits, they kick everybody off and I will have nowhere to live. So I was mentioning how I was trying to figure out how I could stay here because I wanted to be here for New Year's. And he was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool if you were here for New Year's too.
Okay.
It was like something along those lines.
Well,
I don't remember for sure.
Listen,
but
I'm not trying to be poo-poo in your Cocoa Pops.
I feel like you're about to.
What was he going to be like? Good luck. Like, I mean, that was, you know what I mean?
I think there are ways to end that conversation if he wasn't interested. I think that was
fair,
maybe not an open invitation, but it was definitely let's continue this talk.
Also, Desi, Scotty in the chat says, when he's done with his PT, ask if you can test out that foot by going for a hike or a long walk. See?
There you go. Okay, I'll use that.
Go do camelback.
I don't think I have the muscles for that one right now.
I think you can do it.
I mean, if Carlin Reed did it.
Screw you. Yeah, we all vote that you should do it, but obviously in your situation, maybe wait till he's almost done with his PT and keep us updated.
Okay, I will update you guys.
All right,
oh my God, I'm
appreciate
so
you.
nervous
You
for
look great.
You look great.
She's the cutest.
So, and this is where I will always go back to what Chris said, because I think he said it great, was if we at least put ourselves in roles that are stereotypically given to the other gender, we'll understand each other much better.
I know. And here's what's crazy. Like for women, this is such a weird thing a weird line to straddle because we're so much in the be independent, go follow your goals, career first. You don't need a man.
Well, not every woman.
Wait, I'm just like, these are the vibes that are put out there in the world now, right? For like a 22-year-old, right? Just go with that. I'm not talking about like 40 asking someone out. I'm talking about how it's so much of be independent, do this, do that, worry about your life, your friends. And then when it comes to a guy, we automatically fall into this back seat of, well, I'm going to wait around until one of them comes and whisks me off my feet like it's 1950. So we do so much of this. Yeah. It's 2022. This is how I am. And then all of a sudden when a guy's involved, it's, well, I want him to be chivalrous. And it's like, okay, well, then get in the kitchen and bake a cake.
It's like, how do you balance the two?
Right.
Basically?
And that's not saying that you should date a guy who's a dick, right? You both should be chivalrous in a way in a relationship now.
So, two things. First off, we have a birthday in the chat. So, happy birthday to Bianca. Also, I've had this book now for about maybe 7 or 8 years, and I've carried it around with me because I always think as I'm going to donate it or throw it out, I'm like, there's got to be some sort of reason to use this. Do you see that blue book above your media and culture book, Carla Marie?
Yes.
Can you grab that?
We've talked about this.
So it is the Guide for the Modern Gentleman, and this is a book that I was sent when I did November the first time because I reached some fundraising level. And they sent me this book.
Also, thank you to who said out of context that if you hear me say, get in the kitchen and bake a cake.
So, and I'm sure there's dating stuff on here, right? Men at work, maintenance, at home, city life, time off, motoring, the traveler.
Motorboating?
New chivalry. Here we go. From successful seduction to bedroom behavior. It's the last chapter.
Is that where you're bookmarked?
I don't know. Is there a bookmark?
Yeah. What do you bookmarked on, Tones? New chivalry.
New chivalry.
That's weird.
Let's see. 21st century chivalry. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through this and randomly for the next week, I'll just pull random lessons from the Guide for the Modern Gentleman.
Can't wait.
And we'll see if we agree with who's the author here? Whoever this author is has to say about modern chivalry.
Okay. I do agree with what Chris also just said. You can be chivalrous towards a strong, independent woman. Enjoying a man who treats you with chivalry does not make you weak or independent. No, I completely agree with that. But we so much as women, going back to why this conversation came up, so much as women, it's be independent, do this, blah, blah, blah. And then when it comes time to being in a relationship with someone, you automatically take the back seat and wait for them to ask. When everything else we're taught is be a go-getter, do this, do that. Don't wait around for a job or whatever. And then it's like, oh, when a guy comes into the picture, it's like, but I haven't found him and blah, blah, blah.
But maybe we need to just retrain the way we think about the word chivalry. Like if you hold the door open for someone, you're not chivalrous. You're just a nice person.
I agree.
You're a normal person. Normal people hold doors for one another. I think chivalry can also mean meeting the person where they are. Right? There are going to be some times where you're the one that makes dinner plans and surprises someone, but sometimes that person, their love language might be wanting to gift you and take you out to places. Like, I think chivalry is just meeting your partner where they are and doing the things you know make them happy and make them feel safe and make them feel worthy.
Right. Lenny says, open the car door. No, here's why. I mean, if I'm in like a ball gown and it's an event, that's kind of fun. However, if I waited for Anthony to get out of the car to open my car door, I'd still be sitting in there because he takes forever. Car stops, I'm boom, out. And he's like, ew, I was just looking at this text on my phone. Oh, and I was doing this. Come on, dude.
I don't know about that. But opening the car door, to go back to what Lenny said in the chat, if we're on the same side of the car and I'm the one driving, I think I've opened it once or twice.
Why would we be on the same side?
Like if we're walking, if we're like walking out of a restaurant or something.
Hold on.
It doesn't happen often.
Hold on.
But I do know that when I had my
was so
Jeep,
confused for a second.
when I had my Jeep, it was way more. It happened more often because I would often have to unlock the door manually.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
So I'd go unlock the door, I'd open it, and then she'd get in.
And if she doesn't lean over, not a keeper.
Yeah, yeah. That's
What
the
is that
rule
from?
from
Good.
A Bronx Tale or
Bronx Tale.
Goodfellas.
I think it's Bronx Tale. Yeah, Claire, I was very confused. I thought you were saying that when we're on the same side of the car as if I'm just driving around in the back seat.
No. Like if we're approaching the car
Yeah.
from the passenger side.
Okay. I would say maybe just because I can't say never. Once have you done that?
Well, when I said it, I said once or twice. So,
But you
looks
remember it?
looks like we're on the same page there. I know I've done it.
I don't know about that.
All right.
Okay, so we can't get to the other two things today because I
That's true.
have 30 minutes before I have a call. However, in these 30 minutes, I need to eat as many things as I want because starting at 9:30, I begin my 27-hour prep, essentially. Well, 24-hour prep to take a 3-hour test for SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, to see if that's something I have going on in my stomach.
Okay.
So for 12 hours, starting at 9:30, all I can do is eat baked chicken and rice. And then I think eggs also. I have to check. For 12 hours. Then the next 12 hours, I can't eat anything. And if I work out, I have to wait an hour to start the test. And if I sleep, I have to wait an hour to start the test after I wake up.
Mhm.
And then for 3 hours, I have to breathe into a bag
Like you hold it on your mouth for 3 hours?
every 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And also drink some liquid and then breathe into the bag again. But I have to do that for 3 hours tomorrow.
All right. Well, good luck with that. So your Wednesday is going to be great. And will you know the results by Thursday?
No, I have to send it away to a lab.
Okay. Well, Thursday you could eat normally?
Well, yeah, tomorrow at like 1 p.m. I can.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound too bad. Most of your time will be just take a lot of naps.
I mean, it's like intermittent fasting. It's not too bad. But
What happens if you
I
test positive?
hope it is, because that would solve so many things for me.
Do they have to
Stomach-
like take out your stomach?
No, you just take a specific antibiotic and then you kind of like, from what I understand, moving forward, I will just be aware that this is something that could happen. So maybe there's certain supplements or certain foods that I avoid, but it would be great because if that's why my stomach's always bloated and in pain, boom, done.
Perfect. Well, good luck with that. You can start your next 28 minutes of eating right now if you want.
Oh,
We're out here. We have dropped off our ballots at the Dropbox location here in Seattle. If you have not voted yet and you are registered, go for it. I did find out in the state of Washington, you can register the same day online and go vote. Some states do that. Some states don't. Check it out. Read up. Vote. You got some time. And we will see you on Thursday.